Hey, it is game day here at Husker247 Daily. Nebraska playing on Friday night against Minnesota. We are on our way up to Minneapolis. Not right now, but eventually we'll be on our way up to
I'm driving.
Minneapolis. Yeah, to watch Nebraska play Minnesota here on Friday. I am Mike Schaefer, joined by Brian Christopherson. This is Husker247 Daily. And last Friday, we ran through all the Big Ten games. We had a great time with that. We were going to do it again. We said things, and at least, I don't know about Brian. I said things like, wow, what a tough spot for Northwestern having to play a pissed off Penn State team. So you're going to get that kind of level of analysis, which I don't know if you can find anywhere else. But to our credit, both Brian and I liked Indiana going into Autzen, getting a win there. And so, maybe we're not such dummies, or at least one of us isn't. So we'll find out. We'll kind of keep track of this as we go along as well. We were going to go through every Big Ten game on the slate and give you an against the spread pick. Sometimes based on stuff, sometimes just based on total gut reaction. You have to decide if we are if we have anything to this or if we're just making it up as we go along. Sound good, Brian?
Yeah, I think people will know that we're making it up, but if there's some kind soul that wants to think the other, thank you.
You never know. There could be someone who's never watched anything we've done. He's like, "Oh, these seem like
These
guys
guys really know their stuff. They dive into this thing."
that guy with the backwards hat clearly has spent a lot of time researching what he's about to say." So yeah, I mean, and he would be correct. I put hours and hours into this. So let's dive into it. Without further ado, Nebraska at Minnesota, Friday night game. Full breakdown for this at the Husker 24/7 Hypecast. Be sure to check that out. Nick Hanley joined us on Thursday for that one. Good stuff there. This is I think this is a tough spot for Nebraska. I have Minnesota covering here. I have Minnesota as an outright winner. Feel free to boo me at home. Feel free to find me in person and boo me as well. But until I see Nebraska win at Minnesota, I just think that House of Horrors continues. What do you think, Brian?
I have the Nebraska cover in this one. So that the covering 8.5. I think I said 34-23. So we'll go with that. I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet on this game if I were in that line of work. I would let it go, but that's my pick.
All right. Well, let's go straight into the games on Saturday. We've got an interesting one here as Washington takes on Michigan. The Wolverines coming off of the tough loss to USC this past week. They may be without Justice Haynes. I haven't looked into that, but I know he got banged up and did not return in that USC game, and that makes life a lot more difficult for Michigan. What do you think here, BC?
This is a total gut pick because the brain points toward Washington as the proper decision here, actually, I think. But I'm going to say Michigan, just sort of I can't stand that Michigan man crap, but I think they're going to step up and have one of those days in Ann Arbor and win by like a touchdown, barely covering.
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington here to cover. If I had to make an outright guess, I think I would lean towards Washington. No Justice Haynes. I think Michigan's offense struggles without their star running back. I know Bryce Underwood has a ton of potential. I don't love their wide receivers. The one thing that gives me pause here a little bit is Michigan's defense is good enough to kind of keep Washington at bay. But if this game gets into the 20s, does Michigan have enough offense? I'm leaning to the Huskies here on both sides of it. Let's go to the next one. This is an important game if you're someone who thinks Nebraska. If Nebraska wins on Friday, the next important game becomes Purdue at Northwestern, because if Northwestern wins, as they're favored by 3.5 points going into this one, you could get a Nebraska-Northwestern big noon kick. It could be a CBS kick. We don't know the televised slate. That might be the best game between the most wins of any two programs playing each other next Saturday. So Purdue at Northwestern, sneaky important for your television broadcast plans for the following weekend. What are you thinking here, Brian?
Yeah, it's Nebraska Northwestern is on the old 6-day window, as we say in the biz. So we find out late Saturday.
We
early
say it
Sunday
often
morning.
in the biz.
Yeah,
we call
we
each
do.
other. We talk about, hey, did you see that 6-day window? Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, we like to throw that around. This is a tough one. I'm going to say Northwestern covers, but I do not feel comfortable with it. Purdue is like sneaky okay, like they have been. I mean, they should have really won at Minnesota last week. And before that, they played really well at Illinois. So there's part of me that thinks Purdue's sort of about to break through on. They've kind of been punching, the stomach, and they're gonna land one here. But I'm gonna say Northwestern to give us the TV matchup we want, covering 3.5.
Yep, I got Northwestern. I got them covering, but it's like a 24-20 kind of cover. You don't get
It'll
to feel
tight.
great about it. This is going to be an ugly football game. I'm actually looking forward to maybe getting my eyes on that one a little bit. All right, next, Michigan State at Indiana. Indiana just went into Oregon, won that game. This is a 27.5 point line. I don't know if Aiden Childs is playing. He got knocked out of the game against UCLA. I don't know that it matters. Michigan State's defense looks like they are done for the year. I will take Indiana. I think they are going to cover this by more than just a 28 points here. I think Indiana might win this game by 40 points.
I have Indiana with the cover. Part of it's based on, you do have to factor in the mindset of the head coach, and Siggs, I think, is out to prove a point every week with what they're doing. And so if they get a chance, they'll put 56 on somebody. And so they'll get to this number somehow, some way.
Speaking of putting 56 on somebody, Ohio State heads to Madison, where I'm sure they're not going to be doing the build me up buttercup or the jump around. I don't even know if their fans are going to show up for this. Ohio State, 25.5 point favorites. Give me Ohio State. And I don't know if Wisconsin scores on Saturday. So give me a shutout in that one too. Double prediction.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin just lost 37-0 to Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah. I would say this is a Buckeye cover. I actually that line is almost a little low. That's hard to say, but that's the way it looks.
Here's an interesting game because on the surface you're like, that seems like maybe a little bit low, but then it is a West Coast team going all the way out to Rutgers, Oregon at Rutgers on Saturday. The Ducks are a 17.5 point favorite. They did just drop that game against Indiana. They are going to be mad. Rutgers' defense is horrible, but their offense can put up some points. Can Rutgers hang around within 3 scores, Brian?
I'll say I'll give it a Ducks cover, but I do not feel confident that the Ducks are as explosive as sort of the early impression, because of that Oklahoma State game, which meant absolutely nothing, where Oklahoma State is right now. And so people are like, oh, that I think they got in their mind it's sort of the old Oregon offense. They're explosive. I don't think they're quite as much of a lightning bolt as they have been in the past. But I will say they cover this one. Rutgers is one of 5 teams in this league, though, that is 0-3. They've had close losses, and so give me the Ducks. But that's a good spread. That's a good number to make you think about it a long time.
Ducks win, Rutgers cover. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know that it's close, but I don't think that they're able to cover the 3 scores. Maryland at UCLA, now an East Coast going west. UCLA is hot right now, 2 straight wins. The Terps have lost back-to-back games to Leeds in the 4th quarter. They are not feeling great. Mike Locksley versus Tim Skipper. I honestly have no freaking idea, Brian. You could tell me either team, and I could sort of accept and believe it. Just going entirely off of the vibes of UCLA, give me the Bruins to win, the Terps to cover. Splitting the baby.
I'll have a UCLA cover here. And I did like Malik Washington a lot last week. I know Nebraska gave him some time, but he was impressive to me. I think UCLA is a problem. Penn State, as much as we are having a good laugh at their expense around the country for what happened the last few weeks, they walked into, I think, a weird situation where they caught UCLA right as they were finding themselves a little bit. And I just think that was a bad scheduling moment for them that they could have flipped the whole college football season the way it's worked out. But I like UCLA to keep it rolling, actually, and cover here.
Okay. We got Penn State at Iowa, game between the last 2 teams on Nebraska's schedule. No shortage of things going on here. Iowa, a 3-point favorite, which sort of reflects that nobody believes in them, but they're at home. And Penn State has struggled. They've lost their last 3 games. What happened, Brian?
Jeez. I'm going to say Penn State. I'm going to say that
because you don't believe in Iowa.
it's not so much that. I think Penn State's going to have one of those rally around the interim and each other sort of weeks. That could be completely wrong. It's going to go one way or the other. Penn State either wins this by like 7 or they get beat actually by like 3 touchdowns by Iowa, where it's just like a completely fractured locker room and all that. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and it is a very thin limb that's going to break possibly, but I'll say Penn State.
Yeah, I don't love a backup quarterback coming into a situation against this Iowa defense. It's this game a night game at home in Kinnick. The situation of it, I can't take Penn State here. I'm also afraid Penn State's going to pack up and quit. I don't know. I mean, they were expected to be playing for a national championship, and effectively that part of their season is over. So I don't know. Like, I worry with an interim coach, the program that's in flux, guys that are going to make business decisions. I just think if Iowa's defense comes out and plays reasonably tough against Ethan Grunkmeyer, the backup quarterback for Penn State, I just think the Hawkeyes are going to win here and they're going to cover. I don't think it looks great for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, that could happen. Penn State's going to be interesting to watch the next couple of weeks with an eye on that, with knowing Nebraska goes there in November. Like, are they going to try to actually get back on the saddle or not?
Well, and it depends on this, I can't think of his name. It's Smith, right? Terry Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Smith is the interim coach, and he seems to be a very popular guy, well-liked over there, and they didn't rule out the idea that if he's able to pull this whole thing together, maybe they stick with the interim coach. But I just don't know. In this new age of college football where the playoff is the only thing that matters, and once you know you don't have a chance of making it, I just wonder what that looks like over there. So we'll find out. USC at Notre Dame, this line is high. Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite against a one-loss USC team that just beat Michigan at home. Notre Dame with losses to Miami and to Texas A&M. Now, both of those teams are undefeated, so you could make a case that Notre Dame has lost games to really good teams. I wonder, Brian, if Notre Dame's defense can slow down USC enough. I'm taking USC to win outright. 9.5-point dogs. Not just cover, win outright.
Wow.
I think USC is good. I really do.
I'll take Notre Dame to win, but not to cover. That line does seem steep to me. It feels like
even just the backdoor potential of Jaden Maeva can go score late in the game.
Yeah.
It could be a 10-point game with 3 minutes left. They go score, they don't get the onside kick, and Notre Dame wins by 3. Like I can envision that scenario, but I think USC outright.
Yeah, it seems should be like a 5.5 or 6.5 type spread. But anyway, I'll take the USC cover, Notre Dame win. All
right. Well, we differed on enough of these that one of us could look really good and the other one could look kind of dumb. We're gonna find out. That's the whole point of this. So I took a lot of dogs to win outright in this thing. That doesn't seem like that's gonna go great for me.
I took Penn State on the road at Iowa. So
you took the doggiest of dogs.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. Well, if you enjoyed that, we've got more great coverage for you at Husker247.com. Plenty of coverage leading up to the kick tonight against Minnesota. We will see what the Huskers have in store for them as they try to keep this season rolling along. Friday night game against the Gophers. So be sure to check out Husker247 before, during, after the game. We'll have all the coverage you want and need at Husker247.com. For Brian Christopherson, I'm Mike Schaefer. We're Husker247. We'll catch you next time.